Alright, I had a breakthrough finally. What was the goal? My first server, the one that's now .6, is installed on this 8 gigabyte flash drive. And this is a 16, just another hard drive. I wanted to figure out how to take an installation and back it up or move it into another flash drive should something go wrong. I don't know if the sizing thing is going to make a difference. 16 is too much, but they were cheap, so I've tried a lot of different things. I tried to clone the hard drive with like sector by sector stuff using Aomi. I tried Paragon. A few other odds and ends. Nothing works every time. I would put in the new drive, the new flash drive, and tried to boot this on the server. It would either A, not even recognize it at all as a bootable device, or B, it would attempt to boot into ESXi and then have a bank 5 error and a bank 6 error of some sort, some screwed up error within ESXi's little interface on off the VGA port. And I kept Googling and trying to find a solution, and eventually I did. I found one. And I'm going to share it with you guys. So, secret in this case was using Linux. The first legitimate use I've ever had for Linux, believe it or not. So, for now, just for the record, the smaller black looking one is the original. And this bigger one is the one that's going to be my copied backup. So I'm going to first plug this one in and format it before I do anything and leave the other one unplugged. Alright, let's see. I don't even know if it'll show up in here. It will not. So let's pull up a partition editor of some sort. Or you could use disk manager as well, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. We'll just use this since it's not a specialized tool. So anybody that wants to do it can copy along. This isn't specifically a tutorial, but in some ways I guess it is. You can follow along. I will try and provide all the information I can. Here's what I'll do instead. I'll delete all these partitions. Okay, maybe not. It doesn't want to let me do, does it? Alright, screw that then. We will just delete volume. There we go. Just because this is a broken, cloned copy. And I was, alright, it's still. Yeah, we'll just use my ease as partition manager. Partition master, whatever. Should be a little better. Or not, I don't know. Delete all partitions. Of course, Cox decides they want a packet loss. Apply, yes. You can see it shows 15 gigs, so that's about right. Okay, step 1 is done. I just ensured that the disk I want is formatted, or at least wiped. It doesn't have to be, just so I don't confuse anything. Step 2 is going to involve actually pulling it out. Alright, so it's back here now. And it's going to be, I'm doing it this way for 2 reasons. One is so I can keep track of which one's which later on, but the second is so that I can do a USB pass-through. I'm going to be using this VMware workstation, but I'm going to, I have a Debian installation that has like every GUI installed and so on, and I did it through that, but I thought let's try and just make one without Like, what if I was to use something such as Parted Magic? Just say 1 gig, we don't even need the hard drive. Give you 2 gigs, we'll give you 2 processors. This is off my desktop. And I'm going to use Parted Magic is no longer a free tool, so you can't just go and get it without paying for it now. There is an older version that's part of the Ultimate Boot CD. And right now, current version, at the time of this recording, that is 5.3.7. So I'm going to see if we can, because this is free. This is free. You can go and download this right now. You may even have it right now. It's a fantastic little tool. I'm going to boot off of that and use that one and see what happens. I could also have done loaded it in AOME PXE tool or something like that. If I wanted to boot it off a physical machine or something, but we're using a virtual machine in this case. So there it is. See that? Right off the boot CD, Ultimate Boot CD, Parted Magic. It's from 2013. Enter, run from RAM. Ultimately, we're going to be using the DD command in Linux, which I assume will work here. If it doesn't, then fuck. But we'll see. It should. I mean, Linux is Linux. That's why I'm doing it this way. So this way, at least if someone tries it, they're not being assumed to have been, have a pre-installed installation already. A pre-installed installation. What the fuck am I saying? Okay, it looks like it is booting in and booted up. Sweet. So right now, I still got my disks over here, the flash drives. Just going to hit cancel on that. And we're going to fire you up. So right now, these aren't plugged in. I can see there's probably that 1 gig virtual drive I gave it, not really in use. That's the CD drive. So here's what we're going to do. Step 1 is I need to know which one is which. Now in my case it's easy because they're 2 different sizes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the original one that I want to use as the source. That's this guy. This one has the installation. And I want to make a copy of this. So with this window active, I'm going to plug the first USB in. And by doing that now, it automatically got passed through. It's showing as Kingston USB disk 2.0 down here. I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see it. Okay, cool. F5. I hit F5 to reload. And now I can see, what is this? There's that. Can I open this in any way or just view details? No. That's all right. I got what I need right there. So the source disk is this right here, this SDB. This is going to be important. So, but now we know SDB is my source. And now I'm going to plug in the destination disk, the one I want to make a copy to, so that I know. I wonder if there's a way to do this with USB pass-through into ESXi. Probably is, but I don't know how. I'd have to research it. Okay, boom. So the SDB was the first one, and now we can see a second one by a different, slightly different name. This one is called what? Integrated Express USB Mass Storage Device. So this one's under SDC. And you can also see the size thing. My source disk was an 8 gig drive. and my destination is twice that size, so in my case I have an extra failsafe of knowing which one's which. Deathly important. Do not mix that up, or you will copy the wrong one to the wrong one. So let's go ahead and fire up the terminal. Can I increase the size of this view for you guys? That didn't really zoom in, did it? Okay, yeah, I guess it did. Shrink that just a little bit down. Alright. So step one. This was the source disk, our first one. I think, as far as I know, we already have, sudo access or whatever, imparted magic. If I was doing this in Linux, I would have to make sure I did sudo, I think. And this has to be done very carefully. DDIF equals, and the IF stands for input file, maybe, /dev/sdb. So the input source is exactly the same thing as right there. And there's a million different ways to get this information. And now we need the destination. Where are we copying this to? So that's that SDC. OF equals /devsdc. Now, this is a very dangerous command, apparently. And there's no progress bar. But if you are absolutely sure you got the order right, that's all you need. And then you just hit enter. And once you do that, if you have USB drives that have like lights on them and stuff, you'll see the flashing and stuff. There's no progress bar or anything of the sort. It's just going to sit here and look like this until it's done, and then it'll go back to letting you type with a command prompt. So at this point, you do nothing. And when I did this, it actually took quite a while. I don't know how long quite a while is. I wasn't timing it, but probably over 10 minutes, maybe closer to a half hour, somewhere between like a half hour to an hour. I don't know if it's because it's a VM or because of this or that or schmat, or maybe because the test installation I had of the Linux I did on may have had too much weird crap going on from all the testing. I don't know. Right now, this is all being done straight through parted magic. So if you had a physical PC, you could mount the OS, or mounted Ultimate Boot CD, booted into it, and done the exact same thing. You wouldn't have to worry about the mounting thing here, or the pass-through, but you would still want to plug them in order and see which one's which. And then this would all be essentially the same. Would it be any faster? Would it be any slower? I don't know. But we are passing directly the USB drives to VMware in this fashion. So if I open ESXi, notice there's no other disks listed. It's just my hard drives. There's my solid state. There's one of my data drives, and there's my other data drive. No USB. It doesn't. My Windows doesn't see it. It's passed straight into VMware, so it has full direct access to it. No, I'm not going to sit here while this is going, and I have a doctor's appointment to go to shortly. But I really wanted to start this, and I will, when I get back, plug it in and make sure it boots and then wrap this little video up. I don't know what the hell is so special or weird about how ESXi works, but it is super, super finicky. There's something where even all my normal, like, sector by sector copying methods don't work. This is days later after messing with this stuff. I finally found just a way to go from one flash to the other. But if anybody, and I know this is that cliched, like, please tell me in the comments and subscribe to my Facebook and sign my ass. You just don't, we're not doing that. But if anybody knows a way to image an installed copy of ESXi that's watching, that can be then imaged onto a second USB, please let me know. Put it in the comments, send me a fucking email. You don't have my email. Knock on my door, wake me up or something. Just any way you can contact me. Just tell me what method works with ESXi 6.5, because I'm still looking.